What a run it's been for these Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep. Today, they have the ultimate challenge as they take on the number one team in the Tri-State, the Celtics of the Patrick School. News 12 Varsity presents the 2017 New Jersey Tournament of Champions Final as the third-ranked Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep take on the Celtics, the number one team of the Patrick School. Hello again, everyone. Lou Brogno along with Jimmy Cavallo here at the Sun National Bank Center. Tremendous matchup here in the TOC Final. Don Bosco Prep, the big surprise, taking on the heavy favorite, the Celtics.
Lou, to see Don Bosco Prep here on the last day of the basketball season, amazing. Their epic victory against St. Augustine's, the defending champs, in the non-public A final, and then look at them here making their way through the bracket, beating the Linden Tigers. And the man in the middle, number 22, the junior 6'5", Marcellus Earlington. A signature performance against Linden, 24 points, 12 of them in the third quarter when the Ironmen took over the game. And on the other side, the McDonald's All-American, Kentucky-bound Nick Richards. In the last 6 weeks of the New Jersey high school basketball season, he has been a different player. The man in the middle, 6'11", terrorizing on defense, dynamic and powerful on offense. Let's get it on, Louie.
Just moments away from the opening tip. Don Bosco and the Patrick School meeting for the New Jersey State Championship. Up next.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Sun National Bank Center, site of the TOC Final, the New Jersey State Championship game. Don Bosco Prep and the Patrick School. Ironmen coming in 30-1 on the year. They've won 21 straight games, New Jersey's longest current winning streak. Jim, this team hasn't lost since January 13th when they lost to their arch rivals Bergen Catholic 67-62, their only loss of the year.
Amazing to think Bosco is here with 30 wins on the ledger, Lou. That is a staggering number for the Bergen County school known for football.
Patrick School scores the first bucket, though, of the game. Bull Zhang puts it up and in. Patrick School number one in our Tri-State poll, 28-4. Non-public B South champs defeating Roselle Catholic 71-62. And then the non-public B overall state championship defeating Hudson Catholic. Last night in the semifinals, knocking off Teaneck and Don Bosco Prep with an impressive win over the Linden Tigers 65-58. Bosco with the basketball. First possession of the game. Earlington takes a long shot that doesn't go, and Zhang pulls down the rebound.
Bosco playing their third game in 4 days, Lou. Remember the big blizzard we had last week? It altered the schedule, so they have played Friday, Sunday, and now tonight. Taking out Verona, Linden, and going for the trifecta. The third one would be the charm of charms, Louie, if they took out the Celtics, who are really hungry to get this one. The Patrick School, when you think about the dominance that they stand for in high school basketball in America, remember, folks, they haven't won this title since 2009, Louie. It's an amazing gap in their history.
Jamar Harris hits the jump shot from outside, and the Patrick School off to a good start. Celtics lead at 5-0.
Shades of the non-public B title game against Hudson Catholic. Harris, Lou, 7 of 8 in that game from 3. That was a good night performance for the Hudson Catholic Hawks. They didn't see that coming.
Turnaround there by Chris Paul does not go. And here come the Celtics quickly down the court. Laid up by Jordan Walker. It doesn't go. And now the Ironmen with a 3-on-2 to Earlington, who puts it up off the glass and in. Marcellus Earlington running the floor.
Earlington coming off the signature performance of his career against Linden. What amazing to think what Don Bosco did to Linden on the glass, Lou. They out-rebounded them 55-23.
And Jordan Walker with a brilliant move scores the basket and the foul. He'll go to the line. Chance for a three-point play.
Jordan Walker, all kinds of game. Look at him absorb the contact. Chris Paul has had foul trouble in the back half of the season, and Walker, nicely done to the rack.
Walker coming off the 14-point performance in the semifinals against Teaneck, averaging just a shade under 12 points a game. And Bosco down 8-2. They go inside. Earlington got position but lost the handle. Here's Lovasolo, takes a shot outside. It doesn't go. And Harper tracks down the rebound.
Bosco able to get offensive rebounds time and time again against Linden. It's a different battle they're up against with the Patrick School, but so far they are battling.
And that was the story yesterday, Jimmy, as Bosco out-rebounded Linden 55-23, 29 offensive rebounds for the Ironmen in that game.
That's funny, Lou. I thought I just heard you say 29 offensive rebounds. That is ridiculous. But that's where the game changed hands. You know, sometimes in football they talk about blocking and tackling. Basketball, sometimes it is just the glass. As CP, Chris Paul, spins inside. Hey, if Chris Paul is going to score early, Don Bosco is going to be in good shape. He's one of the X factors along with Ron Harper.
Chris Paul's had a solid year, just under 11 points per game for the Ironmen. They're down 8-4, 4:35 remaining here in the first quarter. The New Jersey State Championship on the line. This is the overall New Jersey State title. Richards bounce pass inside of Zhang. Hook shot doesn't go. Lovasolo rips down the rebound.
Good defense that time by Earlington. Held his ground against the big cat, Zhang. He only checks in at 6'11", Lou.
And Lovasolo buries a three from outside. And Bosco pulls to within one.
He's had a great year, Lovasolo. Got the size at, 6'8" or so, and the ability to step out and knock down threes. Plays with great poise, start to finish this year. And they have counted on Lovasolo time and time again.
Long three-point shot for the Patrick School doesn't go as Jameer Harris launched one. And here come the Ironmen, a chance to take the lead. Harper dishes to Earlington. Lovasolo inside to Chris Paul. Now Earlington fakes the three and flips it outside, and a foul on the floor called on the Celtics.
Yeah, so he'll get the first foul on Nick Richards there. Richards can't believe it, but Earlington being aggressive, taking the ball down the lane, and a push-off on Richards. And now Richards will go off, and that's a wonderful sight for the Bosco Basketball Nation to see the McDonald's All-American go to the bench early here.
First team foul on the Celtics, inside to Earlington. Powers his way in, and it dances off the rim and in.
So strong, just a junior. When they won the Bergen Jamboree, their first title since 2008, Earlington went home. He had a football offer from Penn State that night, Lou. Not bad.
And inside, shot put up and in by Valdir Manuel, the 6'8 senior. And he puts the Patrick School back up by a point. It's 10-9. Charlie Bagan, the outstanding point guard for Bosco, flips it over to Lovasolo. Here's Harper trying to get it into Earlington, but good defense by the Patrick School. Marcus McClary knocked it away, and then it's rejected at the other end by Harper.
Harper, 5 blocks in the Linden game. 6'5", Lou, but he's got the wingspan of a guy 6'10", 6'11" to go along with his size 18 shoe. Yes, size 18 shoe on that young man. Of course, son of an NBA legend, Ron Harper Sr. He owns 5 NBA rings, Louis, with the Lakers and the Bulls. One of the great big guards to play in the league.
The pedigree's pretty good there. Here's Earlington. Flips it outside to Lovasolo. Ironmen down by 1. Charlie Bagan puts the brakes on. He flips to Earlington, spins around, puts it in, off the glass and in. And a chance for a three-point play.
He's just oozing with confidence now. There was a moment in the third quarter in Toms River on Sunday night where he would score 12 points in the quarter, Lou, and he just wanted the basketball. You know, he's a banger. Look, a lot of people tell you he's a tweener in the world of college basketball, but he's just a junior, and his future is still in front of him. He's had a wonderful year to back up a rock-solid sophomore campaign for Coach Kevin DeVario. And if you're looking for reasons why Don Bosco is playing 2 weeks into the spring sports season, it's number 22, Earlington.
And Jameer Harris, the Minnesota-bound guard for the Patrick School, a 1,000-point-plus scorer in his career, nails that jump shot from outside. Patrick School up by a bucket, 13-11.
His dad also a legend, Lou Laquan for Elizabeth High, as Charlie Bagan goes strong to the rim. If Charlie sees a lane, he will take it.
And we're tied at 13. In the corner, McClary, and he stepped on the out-of-bounds line. So the turnover will give it back to Bosco.
This is a perfect start for Kevin DeVario and Don Bosco, because you know the Patrick School has the ability to give you the knockout punch. You see Coach Chris Chavanis, what a job he's done. He looks very handsome too, Lou, on this TOC night.
Chris Chavanis, also the principal of the Patrick School.
Now, he's been a fixture there for 20 years. Great source of guidance, wisdom, and discipline for the Celtic Nation.
Earlington dribbles in, draws a double team, flips it out to Chris Paul. He spins and twists and has it knocked away on the baseline.
Yeah, Paul, he's like wildly athletic, but he's really had a great year contributing in so many different ways for Coach DeVario. Of course, the 86 graduate of Don Bosco Prep, 3-year starter on the basketball team in his day as a player, Lou.
His 22nd season at Bosco, over 460 wins. Here's Harper, has it knocked away. Great defensive play by Marcus McClary.
Yeah, McClary. He'll go to college not too far from here, Lou, Monmouth. And McClary, the captain, 6'4" senior, really the quiet leader of this Celtics team. Yeah, he's been on the floor for 4 years, very steady force. Takes on that great defensive assignment of guarding your best player. And he gets that assignment game in and game out.
Here's Alamir Dawes, flips it inside, the turnaround by Manuel. So
Vladimir Manuel, young man who was born and raised in Angola, and really one of their look, Nick Richards is going to Kentucky. Manuel might be a better post player. Got great creativity around the 10. As you see the backcourt call against Bosco. Checking in is Mikey Concannon, the junior. Concannon, some clutch free throws on Super Sunday in Toms River to help propel Don Bosco to that victory over the highly touted Tigers.
Patrick School up by 2, 15-13. Last 15 seconds of quarter number 1. Harris goes inside now to Manuel, trying to edge his way in, puts up the shot. Good job by Earlington defensively. And it comes
Good battle
back
here with Earlington. Here they go again.
At the buzzer, puts it up, doesn't go, and the first quarter comes to an end. So a very entertaining first quarter of basketball here in this TOC final. The Patrick School and Don Bosco Prep neck and neck. And the Ironmen, who have won 21 straight games, trail the number 1 Celtics by 2. Charlie Bagan to the hoop. It's 15-13 at the end of 1.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
As we come back to the Sun National Bank Center, the victorious Franklin Warriors, as they won at the buzzer to defeat Manasquan for the New Jersey Girls Basketball Championship. Jimmy, what an exciting finish for those young ladies.
It brought the house down here, Lou. Tied with Squan late. They used up the final minute of the clock, held it for the one last shot, and boy, off the miss, great poise on that young lady along the baseline. Ball in the air, horn goes off, ball goes through the rim, and Franklin is your TOC champ. You gotta love it.
A real Cinderella story. as that's a team that lost 7 games during the season. The number 4 seed, as the ball knocked away, taken by the Patrick School. And to take it even further, they were knocked out in the Somerset County tournament in the quarterfinals, and then went on a run in the state tournament, a magical run to win the state championship.
And you don't have to watch Franklin girls too much to know Diamond, our girl's best friend. She was terrific.
Diamond Miller, yeah. And you talk about pedigree, of course, her dad, Lance Miller, one of the greatest players ever, went to Villanova.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And, of course, played at Bridgewater Raritan West, one of the great high school players in New Jersey history.
Yeah, 93 grad of Villanova. I was hoping you weren't going to bring up Villanova in this telecast, Lou. Thanks a lot for that.
Hey, by the way, I loved your tweet, actually, this week about Bosco playing longer into the season than Villanova.
Louis, that Don Bosco Prep, their season would go longer than Jay Wright and the Wildcats, who were number 1 in the country. But give Don Bosco credit. They have taken it to the brink.
Here's McClary in the corner, in and out. Basket has a lid on it.
Richards, good position, had it go off his hand. So he's a little frustrated early on, but he'll play through it. This is a guy that plays 12 feet, Lou. And when I say that, I mean the rim is 10 feet high, and he goes about 2 feet above it at times. You'll see it before this night is over.
Earlington to harass me. What a job he's done off the bench this year for Bosco. Talk about him as we go along. Charlie Bagan takes the 3, doesn't go. And the ball knocked out of bounds off of the Patrick School. It'll be Bosco's ball. 2 guys now in the lineup. Manley Dorme, Matt Harassme. What a job they've done off the bench.
They just bring traditional Bosco toughness. Dorme has had a lot of double-double kind of games this year. And Harassme, I mean, he is just instant toughness. He comes in, he's a competitor, he can knock down a 3. Remember, Harassme made the game-winning free throw against Bergen Catholic in the non-public A North Final at Rutgers. It was amazing.
Foul was on the Patrick School. That's their 3rd team foul here in this first half. We're a minute gone by in the second quarter, and neither team has scored here in the second. Ron Harper changes that as he drills a 3 from downtown.
Instant productivity. He has just risen to the occasion time and time again in the postseason. 20 points against Bergen in the North Championship.
And Manuel inside. He's been unstoppable down low early on for the Celtics.
First-year starter is Manuel, too. Great on the catch and finish.
Patrick School back up by a point at the other end. Nick Richards with a block for the Celtics.
Yeah, tough to go over the top of this guy, folks. Heading off to Kentucky, 6'11" Nick Richards. Had many signature performances at the back half of the season. Watch the great position, rises up, no problem there. That's a tough matchup for Earlington going against Nick Richards. He's done a good job at filling up the stat sheet as February turned to March.
Celtics with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Richards trying to back in, flips it back outside. Walker, Jordan Walker drills it.
Well, you can see Richards draws the double, and that opens up the kick out. And Walker and these guards can really knock it down.
Rasmi gets around a double team, gives to Earlington. Ironmen down by 4, 20-16. Just inside 6 minutes now left in the second quarter. Harper dribbles in, pulls up for the jumper, off the back rim, no. And the rebound pulled down by the Celtics. Quickly up court, Jordan Walker has it knocked away and stripped by Earlington. He dishes
3-on-1.
Harper draws the foul.
Walker is like the express train coming down the court, Lou. Just lost the handle at the last second there, and Bosco did a good job coming the other way as Kevin DeVario, just an amazing there with Johnny Fodor, Scotty Moody, great staff for Kevin DeVario. Kevin DeVario, Lou, he's really never even been to this game as a fan. Never mind bringing his team here as a coach. And Kevin DeVario, as a player at Don Bosco, 3-year starter, they never even went to the Jamboree. Imagine that. Back then, it was like 16 teams went in the mid-'80s. As a player, he never even went to the Bergen Jamboree. Now, as a coach, he's taken them to the TOC final. Amazing. Harper.
Harper hits one of two. Jimmy, he had a great quote, Harper, after yesterday's win against Linden. He says, we're trying to show New Jersey that Bosco is not just a football school. And, of course, they've made that statement, I think, already. Driving in is Jameer Harris.
Yeah, he's their leader. You know, they follow him. Just great family, such a mature kid. He's had an unbelievable year heading off to Minnesota. He just said, Lou, he's a gopher.
His team is up by 5 here. Earlington, the fadeaway jumper, doesn't go. And off the rim, out of bounds, off of the Ironman.
You know, though, Lou, I think Don Bosco let everybody know they weren't just a football school last year. Okay, even though they didn't win the Bergen Jamboree, by the way, it was the Green Knights of St. Joe's who won it last year. What an end to the season as they beat T.J. Gibbs and Seton Hall Prep in the non-public A North Final. Don Bosco beat Seton Hall Prep. That is usually where the season comes to an end for the North Jersey non-publics when you talk about basketball. And there they are, the Brain Trust. But DeVario, I think it was last year he let everybody know. And then, of course, they would get walloped by St. Augustine's in the overall non-public championship. They were down 26 at the half. But guess what? They returned the favor to the Hermits from South Jersey this year. This year, Don Bosco led by 17 at the half. And they came into that game as an underdog. They found a way to hold on to that lead. And lo and behold, 40 years later, Don Bosco was a New Jersey State basketball champion. And they weren't satisfied after that St. Augustine victory. They got into the TOC. It's amazing. You beat Bergen Catholic in the North Final, you're the favorite. You go into the overall championship against St. Augustine's, you're the underdog. You go into the TOC first game against Verona, you're the favorite. Then you see Linden, you're the underdog. You know, now you find yourself against the Patrick School, you're the underdog again, but they've relished it, and what a ride they've given. I mean, maybe Maddie Harasme being 2 weeks late for baseball, it's a good thing when you're 2 weeks late for baseball because Kevin DeVario has taken this team on a magical ride this year. And it's just, I still can't get over the fact that I'm here in the TOC final and it's Don Bosco Prep against the Patrick School. What a story. Bergen County versus Union County for it all.
Yeah, first Bergen County team in the TOC final since Teaneck in 1999. That pass deflected and comes back way outside to Jordan Walker. He dribbles in against two defenders. Now flips it back outside to Dawes. Dawes, crossover dribble. Oh, what a move by Dawes, but he couldn't finish.
Everything but the finish for Alamir Dawes. What a future that young man has, Louis. 6'1", sophomore, getting more and more minutes. So Chris Gervais, been there 20 years.
Here's Earlington. Oh, swatted away by Richards.
Great timing by Nick Richards. Just sort of methodically following Earlington. Watch Richards just follow Earlington right down the lane, just waiting for the release, rises up. And it's a souvenir for the guys in the expensive seats.
Rebound pulled down by Earlington to Harasme, and he's fouled in the lane.
Good motion basketball there. Harasme misses the first shot. Earlington gets the offensive rebound. Harasme keeps his feet moving, cuts to the basket, and he'll go to the line. Yeah, listen, every championship team has guys like Harasme on it, guys that have had little moments, little pockets of greatness, making big shots, the big free throws that we chronicle, the defense, the intensity. Listen, he's a great lefty pitcher on the baseball team. His mom, Maria, might be the best Bosco fan going. She waves that maroon sweatshirt. His grandma, Ramona Lugo, she's listening tonight, Lou, on News 12 Varsity. Thanks, Ramona. Big fan. And it's been a great story for the Harasmes to see him really get involved and put his stamp on this championship.
It's a 5-point game. The Celtics lead at 22-17. And dribbling in is Harris, has it knocked away. Began coming back the other way, dumps it outside. Lova solo, dishes inside Harasme, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, good action there by Lova Solo. Lovasolo, 6'9", Louis, the ability to see over the defense. He'll head off to Blair Academy. High honor student, has aspirations of playing in the Ivy League, but now Harasme will go to the free throw line.
16th foul on the Patrick School, and Matt Harasme hits the first. Chance to draw the Ironmen to within 3.
Sister Demi, outstanding player too, Section 9, Warwick High School.
Well, he hits both.
Of course, I'll be in trouble with his little brother Mark if I don't mention he's a baller too. I got all the Harasmes in there now, Lou.
Did you hit everybody?
I think so.
Here is Marcus McClary, who flips it. Now over to Harris. In the corner, that's a travel. Step taken by Jordan Walker.
Bosco's done a good job not to let the Patrick School get rolling. Chris Gervais, you could tell maybe a little frustrated. They haven't hit their stride yet. They know they have the bevy of talent. And we saw this on Sunday night in Toms River. Teaneck was right in that game, only down a couple points at the half. It was 33-31 Patrick School over Teaneck at the half. And then TPS just took over in the second half, wore Teaneck down.
Charlie Began, tough defense, and now they call a 5-second violation.
No, it's an illegal screen on Earlington, Lou. So you hate to see 22 pick up a foul like that. Earlington has also battled foul trouble. Look, he's a physical guy. He fouled out of the Linden game with just under 2 minutes to play. But he's always there at contact point in basketball, right underneath the rim, whether it's the guy he's guarding or the help coming the other way. So it's tough for him to avoid the contact. Plus, he's a Bosco football player. You know those guys, they love contact.
Manuel with the turnaround hook, it's good.
Louis. Vladir, just an array of moves. He's crafty, too. You could tell he's a craftsman.
Ironmen down by 5 again, 24-19.
Very important couple minutes here for Bosco, Lou. Right now they sit at a 5-point deficit. The Patrick School wants to get the run out here into the half and get this into double figures.
Oh, and the 3 drilled from outside. Amir Dawes, the 6'1 sophomore.
Instant offense is what Chris Gervais says about Alamir Dawes. Heck of a player.
Well, the Celtics have their largest lead now this first half, 27-19. Earlington dribbles in, puts it up and in off the glass.
That's what your leader does, right? He senses that you need something and takes it himself. He takes on the responsibility. Kevin DeVario just refers to him as a man, and he's just a junior, folks.
Oh, Richards could not throw it down. He tried to slam it through. He's lucky he didn't get hurt on that play. There's Lovasolo.
No style points in the TOC finals. Richards should have just laid it up off the glass. He really didn't have the right positioning to dunk that one, and it cost him 2 points.
Here's Harper. Dishes, Harasme at the foul line, backs it back out. Earlington for 3. It's in! He gets the roll.
He loves it. He's a 6-foot guard in his own mind. He loves to face the basket, loves to shoot the 3. It's part of the beauty of Marcellus Earlington. He took Linden down into the paint, but now with all these bigs with the Patrick School, he's got a little bit of a perimeter game look.
Dawes answers from the top of the key.
Oh, man. I mean, you come in expecting so much out of the veterans, and here comes the sophomore, Alamir Dawes.
30-24. 35 seconds counting down here in the first half.
Remember, the only team in New Jersey, Lou, to beat the Patrick School was Linden. That's the only New Jersey loss they have the entire year. Sure, they lost games to like IMG Academy and some of the movie star programs around the country, but only Linden beat the Patrick School. That had to be something Don Bosco thought, hey, that works for us. We just beat Linden.
Harper, 7 seconds now. Harper looking for help, double teamed, harass me, long three, went halfway down the cylinder, and the first half comes to an end.
Great defense by Marcus McClary, the Monmouth Bow senior captain. He didn't give Harper anything to look at there. But high marks for Don Bosco. You're only down by 6 here. That's right, in a weird way, how you want to be against the guys in green, the Green Nation, the Celtic Nation of the Patrick School, looking for their first title since 2009. Bosco looking for their first title since the beginning of time, Lou. They've never won it.
Our score at halftime, 30-24 Celtics.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
At the half here at the Sun National Bank Center, the Patrick School leading Don Bosco Prep 30-24 in the 2017 New Jersey TOC Final. Celtics up by 6, our number 1 team. And Jimmy, in that first half, Bosco staying right with the Celtics for the most part.
Hey, you expect them to be there. They are our number 3 team in the Tri-State, and they got off to a good start. Look, you know what you're going to get out of the Celtics. You're going to get the inside-out game, and at any time, both of those factions can dominate this game. You got 3 guys down low, over 6'10" for the Patrick School, and then you got guards on the perimeter who can knock down big shots. And I think Don Bosco's done a really good job down low so far, but the Patrick School's been able to knock down some perimeter shots. So right now, Don Bosco trailing by 6. They're still right there, Lou, because as we've told you time and time again, the Celtics of the Patrick School can deliver the knockout punch with players like Jameer Harris, the senior bound from Minnesota. Baseline jumper, nothing but net. But Don Bosco, of course, they've had an array of guys contribute. You see Harper, little screen by Lovasolo, pops out, and the 6'9" senior Lovasolo knocks down the 3. Hey, look, we know it all goes through big Marcellus Earlington. He's been unbelievable. That's the power game from Earlington that's become the signature of the final week of the basketball season for number 22. But then you got Vladir Manuel. Look at that. What a beautiful move by that 6'6" junior. Back and forth they would go. Ronnie Harper, another junior at 6'5". So some good underclassmen showing some results in this game. Jordan Walker, so fast, but also the ability to knock down shots. But I thought the difference for the Patrick School was the sophomore, right? Alamir Dawes. Boom! That 3 right there for the 10th grader gave the Patrick School a little breathing room. You know Marcellus is going to empty the tank. It's been what he's doing all year long. Kevin DeVario has told everybody he's our best player. He will lead us, and he looks to lead them, and he absolutely has in the final month of the season. We mentioned the sophomore Dawes, thriving with confidence, Louie. That's how you played as a sophomore. You never saw a shot you didn't like. So you look at our stats here at the half, 6-point differential, field goals just about same, 3-pointers, the Patrick School. That's what hurts you if you're Bosco. Wow, they made 5 threes. Rebounds, very competitive. You like that for Don Bosco. The Prep has done a better job getting to the free throw line than the Patrick School, but a long way to go now. If you're Don Bosco, you survived the first 16 minutes. Now, can you survive another 12 minutes, get it to the final 4 minutes, and try and win the championship in the final 4? It's going to be interesting. It's quite a challenge going against TPS. The halftime is done, Louie. Third quarter is next.
Welcome back to the Sun National Bank Center. Lou Brogner along with Jimmy Cavallo and our News 12 varsity team. The Patrick School leading Don Bosco Prep 30-24 as we get ready for half number 2 here in this New Jersey State Championship game, the 2017 TOC Final. Jim, what do you expect here in the second half? As we mentioned, Bosco hanging around, down by just 6.
I expect number 23 in white to do a lot more in the second half. Nick Richards hasn't scored in this game, Lou. Been a little frustrated, and if you're Don Bosco and Ronnie Harper, you know Richards is going to have an agenda here in the final 16 minutes of his Patrick School career. Look, he knows the history. Young man who was born and raised in Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, and Kingston born, and now his rise to prominence growing up playing soccer and volleyball as Chris Paul with the steal.
And Paul is fouled as he takes the ball to the hoop. So a good job by Bosco to steal the ball. And he'll shoot two. They say it is in the act of shooting. So Chris Paul to the line, the 6'5 senior, just a shade under 11 points per game.
Yeah, he's really refined his game. He was sort of a wild, athletic kid in his first couple years for Bosco, but now has become a very steady slasher, great on defense. What you love about Chris Paul is he's got so much offensive ability, but at times when they've needed him to, he's looked for his defense and his rebounding. That's how you win 30 games, Lou, and only lose one game, when guys like Paul buy in.
So he hits one of two, and it's a 5-point lead for the Celtics. They're up 30-25. Here's McClary, stops, pops, and hits Marcus McClary.
You see, it's just smart basketball. They're going to double Richards. They're going to shade him with the defender who was on McClary. So that gives McClary room to take a nice, good look at the basket, and he knocks it down.
Patrick School by 7, 32-25. Harper flips to Paul on the right wing, and tough defense there by McClary, but Harper gets the basketball for the Ironmen. Here's Earlington, open. Jumper outside doesn't go. And the ball knocked out of bounds off of Richards, so Bosco will retain possession. Bosco trying to win their first ever TOC title. Of course, the Patrick Schools won 5 of them, but not since 2009.
Yeah, seeking the 6th one. Now a steal. Look at the ball distribution.
3-on-1, and the Celtics cash in as McClary lays it in. Well, now it's a 9-point game, dangerous part of the game right here.
Hey, you just need to score. You got to keep doing what you've been doing, Don Bosco.
Arlington, Paul wide open underneath. Good look by Arlington.
Yeah, great flash by Paul along the baseline. And Arlington, he's like a 6'5" guard in certain situations. Sees over the top of the defense beautifully and snatches that double-handed overhead pass.
34-27, and driving in high off the glass is Jordan Walker.
He's got so much game. You forget he's only 5'11". Got all kinds of offers. Seton Hall, LSU, Oklahoma State. A lot of offers for Walker.
Arlington drives in, can't score. Here come the Celtics. Up ahead to Walker. He puts it up and in again, high off the backboard.
Instant energy again from Jordan Walker, and you can see Chris Trevenis. I wasn't in their locker room, Lou. I can guarantee he said, let's get some motion going here, and played 94 feet.
Chris Paul with a great answer at the other end, but the foul before the shot, so the basket does not count.
But Jordan Walker gets them going, said Chris Trevenis. Trevenis very loose on game day in this championship season, but you know what, Lou? He's been there 20 years, so I know he's got to be feeling a little responsibility as a competitor, as a leader, to get that 6th TOC title, the first since 2009.
And you saw just next to him on the bench, former Rutgers head coach Mike Rice, 2 years as a special assistant here at the Patrick School.
Not bad to get a Big East coach as a special assistant, but Mike Rice has done a great job in the last couple years. Todd Decker next to Rice. Todd Decker, of course, was the head coach of St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. So you got a great brain trust. There's Coach Rice.
Of course, his daughter Katie plays for Red Bank Catholic, and they were in the TOC semifinals yesterday.
Wonderful season for Katie, 20 points in the state championship. They just, had to come to an end in the TOC, but.
Chris Paul at the line. The Ironmen are down by 9, and he hits the first. 3 team fouls here now on the Patrick School here in the second half.
Paul was excellent at the free throw line against Linden. Don Bosco shot like 46 free throws in the Linden game. Linden was fouling late, of course, in New Jersey. Much to my dismay, there's no shot clock, so you have to start fouling pretty early when you're chasing a deficit. But Paul, very good. Only missed 1 free throw in the fourth quarter against Linden.
So it is a 9-point game, 38-29. .5:15 remaining in the third. Richards way up top. He tries to deliver the pass inside, and getting hold of it was Manuel. Bosco did a good job to intercept, but they couldn't hang on.
Yeah, good hands there by Manuel. The ball was tipped around, was able to corral it. So Jordan Walker will pick up a foul in the backcourt. Now 3 fouls on Jordan Walker, so Coach Chavanis now going to talk to his senior guard. I mean, got 13 minutes of basketball left, and you can see they'll get the sophomore, Amir Dawes, right up to the table.
Here's Began.
Gotta be careful here. If you're Walker, you got the foul, and look, they let it go. That could have been his 4th foul right there.
And Walker tries to force a pass in.
He was fortunate.
Intercepted by Richards. He jams it through.
That's the high percentage shot that Nick Richards loves to take anytime he gets a look. Kevin DeVario can't believe that was not a foul on Jordan Walker.
And Chris Paul drives in and draws the foul. And Kevin DeVario.
He's had a great run here, coaching some high-profile games and getting his club through, and nothing like a guy coaching his alma mater. You know, Lou, he was an Ironman once upon a time, a floor general for 3 years, and got this job 22 years ago. You know, it's been a big year for him, Louis, because when they won the Bergen Jamboree, it was the first time Bosco won the Jamboree since 2008, and they had gone 4 times to the finals since 08 and came up short. So he wins the Jambo, he repeats as the North champ, he wins the overall non-public A championship, and now he's got him in the TOC final.
Well, they're down by 11 here, 42-31, but a lot of time left, 4:25 left in the third. Dawes flips up top. This is not a foul underneath called on Bosco. As McClary ended up on his backside. Jacket comes off for Kevin DeVario.
Yep, the jacket comes off.
Oh, the inbound to Richards. And, Nick Richards getting those high percentage shots, as you like to say here.
Well, that's a nice inbounds play, right, Lou? I mean, you know, when you got a guy 6'11" that can jump through the moon, you can have inbounds plays like that. Harper knocks down a 3, and it's a big one there. Bosco was in a little bit of a scoring low.
And it brings the Ironmen back to within 10. It's 44-34. 3:50 remaining in the third. Bounce pass. Manuel double teamed. Now trying to get around Earlington. Still dribbling.
Travel.
He travels. Takes an extra step.
Sometimes the referee will just punish you for dribbling too much, right? So the travel made it, and that look says it all from Coach Chavanis. And remember now, he's the principal at the Patrick School too, so he doesn't like any shenanigans in the hallways or on the basketball court.
Hagan brings it up, hands it off to Paul. He gives to Harper. Richards pops out on him. Now Harper drives in and floats it in up over Nick Richards.
He's got so much game, right, Lou? The crossover. He's got the ability to play fast and slow. That was a nice methodical crossover and a runner down the lane.
44-36. Approaching 3 minutes left here in the third. Outside, Dawes wide open, can't hit. And the rebound comes out to Began. Up ahead to Chris Paul. He delivers to Harper, takes the jumper, but he's fouled from beyond the arc, I believe.
He'll get 3 free throws, Lou. You're right.
Celtic foul number 23.
Fouls on Richards, that's his third.
At the line, Ronald Harper, shooting 3.
Harper will shoot 3 free throws. Bosco down by 8, 44-36. And the first is no good. He'll get another.
Of course, his dad, Lou, great NBA player, played at Miami of Ohio. 8th overall pick in the 1986 draft, drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and wonderful NBA career. Mentioned 5-time NBA champion. Scored 14,000 points, did Ron Harper, in his career. But the best thing about that, when you think about a kid having an NBA dad, I asked Kevin DeVario, is he like a sports dad? And he says, you know what? He's done a great job. He lets Ronnie Harper Jr. carve his own path. He's just like any other parent. He doesn't offer me any advice. We just have nice conversation about the game and his son, and that's how he wants it. Very refreshing to hear that from Kevin DeVario about Ron Harper Sr. Watching his son now as a junior. He's just enjoying it like any other parent.
Well, he hits 2 of 3, and that draws Bosco back to within 6. So it's 44-38 with 2:54 left here in the third.
It's part of the counter-punching Don Bosco has to do in this game. Looked like Patrick School got up 12-11. Maybe they're going to get the separation. Right back comes Bosco counter-punching. Hey, Bosco's trying to move up in the world, Lou. They're number 3 in our Tri-State top 20. And they have an opportunity because they beat number 2 Linden, and now they take on number 1. And you will see the Tri-State top 20 with my stable of experts tomorrow night right here on News12Varsity.com. Gotta love it. Our top 5 teams, only Linden's season has come to an end. Lincoln and Long Island Lutheran both heading to the New York State Federation Championships this weekend. Bosco and the Patrick School playing here tonight in the TOC final.
Marcus McClary with a beautiful drive, and then a foul as he got his own offensive rebound.
Great effort by McClary, right? With King Rice getting a great-looking 6'4", big guard. McClary's a leader. That's why he's a captain. Can really be a lockdown defender. At 6'4", Lou, what McClary gives you is he can guard basically 5 positions. That's not an easy thing to do. He's got the quickness to guard your point guard or your shooting guard, and he's got the size to help on your bigs. And he's done a really good job doing it this year. And oh, by the way, he could also score the basketball when you need him to.
And his second free throw good as well. So it's back up to an 8-point lead for the Celtics. They're up 46-38. And Bosco throws it away. And turnover gives it back to the Patrick School.
Always think about the little forks in the road when you get to the 2.5-minute mark of any quarter. It's such an important, final 150 seconds, just to, if you can own the end of the quarters, you're usually in great position.
Oh, Dawes buries the 3, but it was a great pass by Jordan Walker. They say a 2-point shot.
Oh, Dawes, he's getting a great look at the rims here at the Sun National Bank Center.
49-38, approaching the 2-minute mark left in the third.
Once upon a time, LeBron James played here in the primetime shootout. St. Vincent St. Mary.
Oh, Chris Paul with a beautiful drive.
You just love his athleticism, his ability to extend as he swoops to the hoop. When he's got that game going, Bosco is usually thriving.
Ball knocked back to Dawes. Dishes underneath, laid up and in by Harris.
Great job of Dawes avoiding the charge and distributing the ball right there to Harris for an easy 2. Well, points off turnovers for the Patrick School.
The Celtics back up by 11, matches their largest lead of the game. Here's Paul driving in. Off the glass, doesn't go, but he does draw the foul.
I really like it from Chris Paul. Kevin DeVario, he's loved the growth in Chris Paul, and you can see Paul, hey, one way or the other, right? It's your final game for Don Bosco if you're Chris Paul, right? I mean, this is it. This is the end of the rainbow. There is no tomorrow. Win or lose, he knows he's playing in his final 32 minutes for Don Bosco. And Chris Paul has done exactly what you ask of an athlete. You walk in the door, you buy in, you work hard, and every year you add something to your game and you become more and more of an impact player. CP, Chris Paul, has done that. See Patrick School now, Louis, over the limit. So every foul now on TPS will put the Iron Men at the line for the next 9 minutes in this game. And Don Bosco's pretty good free throw shooting team.
Conversely, Bosco with only 2 team fouls. A minute left here in this third quarter. McClary spins, twists, underhand scoop shot doesn't go. And Earlington with the rebound. Charlie Began brings it up. Bounce pass outside. Harper pulls up for the jumper. It's short.
Never had control of the ball. Decided to shoot it anyway. Here comes the Roadrunner.
And Walker has it knocked away. And it will remain Celtics possession.
Well, I don't know that there's many guys in the state of New Jersey who can go 94 feet as quickly as Jordan Walker, man. He gets down the floor in a hurry.
And
offensive foul now, and this is going to be on Walker. It's going to be his 4th foul, Lou.
Against the Celtics, number 2, Walker. That's Walker's 4th.
That's a big call.
Wow, you'll take that if you're the Ironman Nation. So Jordan Walker will get a seat now on the bench with a full quarter of basketball left.
See his frustration.
Just trying to get open, too, so it's not the kind of foul you want to pick up as your 4th foul.
35 seconds left in the third quarter here in the state championship game. Bengen trying to find Manly Dorme, but the pass is too high, and the Ironmen turn it over.
Yeah, some turnovers have plagued Bosco. You got to be clean as a whistle when you're the underdog in a game like this.
So Celtics bring it up. Less than 30 seconds left in the third. Chris Paul jumps out defensively and pulling up for the long three-point jumper. Doesn't go. Shot was taken by Jameer Harris, and a foul over the back on the Celtics.
Well, first and foremost, I'm surprised Jameer Harris took a shot with 19 seconds on the shot clock. So Chris Gervais is thinking, this is unbelievable. We should have held for the last shot. We didn't do that, and then we fouled them, and we put them at the line where they could take points off the deficit without the clock moving.
So Chris Paul will go to the line. It's 1-1. That's the 9th team foul on the Patrick School. And his first is good.
Just does a nice job at the line, does Chris Paul. Southpaw, lefties always look better doing anything, right, Lou? Especially shooting it. You think about Chris Mullen, the guy's watch, got his little routine, and just look how softly the ball goes up and over the rim. Barely makes it over. That's why you get that nice roll.
And it's a 7-point game, 51-44. Bosco hanging in. Here's Dawes, top of the key, 4 seconds, 3. He lets one go, and that will do it. So the third quarter comes to an end, and the Patrick School still has the lead, but the deficit is just 7.
2 words, Louis. Striking distance. They are in striking distance. Of course, the Patrick School, you know what the big man wants to do, knock down shots. That's just what the sophomore's done. Fourth quarter is next.
Measure a champion with grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Back at the Sun National Bank Center, Lou Brogno, Jimmy Cavallo, News 12 varsity team here in the state capital of the great state of New Jersey, Trenton. The Patrick School leading Don Bosco 51-44. One more quarter left here in this 2016-17 season.
It's been a while for the Patrick School, Lou. March 23rd, 2009, they beat Newark Science here in this game, 73-57. Some pretty good players on that Patrick team. Back in 09, Dexter Strickland, he won 3 titles. He went to North Carolina. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, you remember him, went off to Kentucky. Paris Bennett went to George Mason. And oh, by the way, the leading scorer that night with 26 points, Duke-bound, the junior, Kyrie Irving. Yikes. That was their 3rd TOC in 4 years. That was the good news. Bad news is that's the last time they won it, 09. So they have a little sense of urgency in Celtic country to get another one.
And the ball, throw it out. It'll be Patrick School ball. You know, with that said, Marcus McClary is a senior, and, Jameer Harris is senior. The seniors on this team, remember, it used to be St. Patrick's. St. Patrick's closed its doors in 2012, and then the Patrick School was formed and opened up, and these kids were the first class, part of the inaugural class of that Patrick School.
But what they saw, Lou, was they saw sort of a seismic shift in New Jersey basketball. For years it was Chris Gervais he was there with Kevin Boyle for 20 years. It was always St. Patrick's, St. Anthony's, St. Patrick's, St. Anthony's. The shift, though, came after the 09. Trenton Catholic won the title. And then along came the Lions of Roselle Catholic. And Roselle Catholic has been a thorn in the side of both the Patrick School and St. Anthony's, ripping off 2 TOC titles and 3 state championships in non-public B. Of course, the defending champs, Coach Hurley and St. Anthony's, they went 32-0 a year ago. But you think about that culture change, along comes Roselle Catholic. So all of a sudden, you've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 basketball seasons have gone by since the Celtics were TOC champs. So of course Chris Gervais, he's a Celtic man. He's been there 20 years, dean of discipline, principal, now coach. He really wants this for the Celtic Nation to return them to the mountaintop. And he's done a wonderful job of reinstilling the Celtics culture about basketball, about academics, about accountability. He is creating great young men at the Elizabeth School.
And of course, they won championships in 98, 2003, 2006, 7, and 9, but those were under Kevin Boyle, the coach then of the St. Patrick's. Bosco trying to come back. Richards, a big block.
Yeah, Richards went for the home run alley-oop, didn't get it. That'll be a travel. But you can appreciate the block. You don't always have to swat it 10 rows. He controlled the block and then was looking for the outlet pass. It wasn't there, so he traveled. But great defense by the Kentucky-bound Richards.
Well, that's a big possession here for the Ironmen. They're only down by 7. It's 51-44, and there's a lot of time left. Just under 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
They're like one shot away from getting a vibe into this game that they got a lot of life.
Earlington gives them that shot.
Great big body coming down the lane, switches the ball right hand to his left hand. And the 6'5" junior, I should say. A beautiful take. And it's a 5-point game. Just an 11th grader.
A foul underneath called on the baseline against the Ironmen. It's on Lovasolo.
This is right where Coach DeVario wanted to be, Lou. Of course you're saying, no, he'd like to be up by 5 instead of down by 5. But they were realistic in knowing what they were up against. Let's get to the fourth quarter with a chance, and they have that.
McClary for 3, doesn't go. Tapped up, and I think it was Richards who got the bucket.
Yeah, Richards kept the original one alive.
Might have been Manuel who tipped it.
It was. Vladir will get the deuce.
Inside Earlington, and Richards right in his face. Swats it back at him.
Yeah, good position. Bosco wanted a foul, but Richards held his ground beautifully.
A jump shot outside doesn't go. No white jerseys underneath for the rebound. Here comes Harper. He stops, pops, and hits.
Just great recognition by Harper. The Patrick School wasn't back on defense. He's got that big body at 6'5", but he can hit the extra gear when he needs to.
53-48, a 5-point game here in the New Jersey State Final. Richards pulls up, jumper, good. How do you like that for the big guy?
Woo, that's what John Calipari wants to see. A more refined Nick Richards with an offensive game. That was an impressive shot for a man that stands nearly 7 feet tall.
Lovasolo answers with a long-range bomb.
They've seen that for a long time in Allendale, New Jersey, playing for his dad, John, in Allendale Travel. Why not? He's been facing the basket his whole life, Lou, and at 6'9", that's his shot.
55-51. It's a 4-point game, and a foul on the floor called on Marcellus Earlington.
Chipping away, 4-point game now.
16 foul on the Ironmen, so next time they foul, they'll be over the limit. Here comes Harper off the steal. Harper flips to Chris Paul, puts up a reverse, in off the glass.
Here they come, Lou. The Ironman faithful rise to their seats, because CP and Don Bosco only trail by 2 in the 4th and final quarter on the last day of the high school basketball season.
And the Celtics call timeout. 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the 4th quarter. It's a 2-point game.
The Celtics have gotten a little sloppy, and Don Bosco is capitalizing on it. Ronnie Harper picking up loose balls, exploding down court, getting the ball to Chris Paul. Again, Harper, he's got the wingspan, he's 6'5", but you know what? He can handle the ball. Watch Charlie Bagan, the kick out here, Lovasolo, dial in long distance, the 6'9" for 3. And then here comes Harper in transition, recognizes, look at the patience by Paul to go up, and gets it to go, and it's a 2-point game with under 5 left here in the TOC final. And what you love about New Jersey does a great thing, Lou. They play last man standing. They play king of the hill. They crown all their state champs in the 4 public and the 2 non-public. They take the 6 state champions and they play 1 final tournament. And no matter if you're the smallest of small schools or the biggest of big, they come away with 1 champion in the state of New Jersey.
Bosco's last lead was 16-15. That was in the 2nd quarter. Here they're down by 2 with 4:40 remaining. And the Celtics will inbound. And they give it to McClary. He looks to set it up for the Patrick School. Hands it off to Jordan Walker. Walker being played by Charlie Bagan.
Walker's got 4 fouls. He's back in there now.
And a foul on the floor called on the Ironmen, and that should put them over the limit. That'll be the 17th foul on Bosco.
And the foul's going to be on Lovasolo, Lou. He's just trying to corral Nick Richards. But hey, you never know. Sometimes this can work out for you. Richards hasn't been to the free throw line, so we'll see. It is a 1-and-1.
So the Kentucky-bound senior at the line. Front end of a 1-and-1 is good. He hits that one, no problem. Richards has had some big games, 26 points against Teaneck in the semifinals. He had 28 points against Roselle Catholic in the non-public B South Championship. Linden up for 24 points in the Union County final. And can't hit that one. Hits 1 of 2. 56.
1 possession game.
53. Bosco down by 3. Crowd getting into it. Harper to Charlie Bagan. Back to Harper. Bagan to Paul. Tough defense here, sliding by the Celtics. Harper to Paul. Pulls up, jumper, that's off the mark, and it's pulled down by the Celtics.
Great quickness by Jordan Walker to get to that loose ball, and then makes the prudent play not to force anything because Bosco got back on defense. And now they'll have a possession here.
Patrick School by 3. 56-53. 3.5 remaining in the state championship game. Here's Walker, dribbles in, takes it down the lane, and draws the foul.
Yeah, Walker, good basketball there, picks up the high screen, and then just uses his quickness to draw the foul.
Fouls on Earlington. That's his 4th personal foul. That's dangerous territory for the Ironmen. And the free throw good by Jordan Walker.
It's important, Lou. It makes it a 2-possession game. Jordan Walker, he's the floor general, the point guard.
And his second on the way, good as well. 58-53. It's a 5-point lead for the Patrick School. Taking across the midcourt line, Lovasolo way out top. Harper angles. And a timeout. Kevin DeVario wants to talk it over. 3:06 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Well, you can see the competitor now, and Coach DeVario. Hey, he's right there, Lou. You know, I think on some level you'd sign up for Don Bosco being down by 5 with 3 minutes left here in the TOC. And now these guys just trying to go out in style. Well, it's not going to be easy. I mean, the Patrick School, you know, they're so big on the baseline. They're so quick on the perimeter. Now, their half-court defense is tough to penetrate.
Patrick School up by 5, 58-53, trying to win their 6th TOC championship. You see the Ironmen there. It's been a magical year for them. As we mentioned, Bergen Jamboree champs, their first title since 2008. Their 2nd straight North A championship, their first ever New Jersey non-public A state title overall.
Final 3 minutes, Louis. The 3-minute game is here. A lot can change in the game of basketball. You watch the NCAA tournament, your fortunes can change in the final 3 of any game.
Charlie Bagan thought about that 3 and has it knocked out by McClary. So Harper will trigger in right in front of the Bosco bench. Earlington back to the basket, now faces, gives to Bagan, dribbles in, flips back to Earlington for 3, that's short.
You got 3 3-point lines here in this building. So Earlington stepped behind the second line. He was already behind the high school line.
And a timeout called by the Celtics. They stopped the clock with 2:33 remaining. Here's a look at those 3-point lines. Yeah, a little confusing.
You know, sometimes when you take that step back, it gets your balance, and sometimes it can throw you off a little bit. Don Bosco didn't need a 3 right there. A lot of time left in this game, 2-possession game. And I'm sure that's what Coach DeVario is talking about now. Now, you know the Patrick School is going to be in no hurry. One of the downsides of New Jersey high school basketball, there is no shot clock. So Coach Gervais now, they'll work that fine line between using some clock, but if they're going to shoot, you know the old ball coach wants a good shot. No fall away 3-pointers here. They hold the cards right now, do the Celtics. They're up by 5. They have possession of the ball.
Of course, both teams are over the limit. Patrick School with 9 fouls, Bosco with 8.
And if you're Don Bosco, you probably spoke about who we're going to foul. Because if you're Kevin DeVario now, you're in extend the game mode. You want this game to go longer. So Chris Paul now, we'll see Walker come right at him. Try to play a little defense, go for a quick steal, but at some point, you're going to have to make your move if you're Don Bosco.
Here's Walker, backs away from Paul. Now dribbles in, takes it to the hoop, swatted away by Chris Paul.
Jump ball will go to the Patrick School. And there it was, great recovery defense by Chris Paul. Walker makes the aggressive move, thinks he's got a layup. Watch this, but watch Paul here on the recovery defense, gets the block. And then a jump ball, which is good news for Bosco. They'll get the next one.
Celtics get it in. Open underneath is Walker. He brings it all the way back out.
And that was the smart play by Walker.
Approaching the 2-minute mark left in the fourth quarter. McClary almost lost it. Takes it in, though, and scores.
Marcus McClary, the Monmouth-bound captain, with a big take to the tin right there and makes it a 7-point game. Gutsy play by McClary when it looked like the Patrick School was going to use a lot of clock.
Now the Ironmen down by 7, and it's knocked out of bounds by McClary.
Yeah, McClary, great wingspan at 6'4". We've chronicled his defense. Some guys just love to play defense.
Chris Lovasolo back into the game for Bosco.
Yeah, now you got to start thinking about threes if you're Bosco. 3-possession game, only 90 seconds left. You're down 7. There's the look they wanted.
Lovasolo gets a good look. Chris Paul is fouled underneath.
Lovasolo's shot was halfway down and came out, but a great job by Paul sneaking in there amongst the bigs, Lou. Well, you have some size in there for the Patrick School.
Chris Paul, 17 points in the game. He's 9 of 10 from the line here tonight.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and Paul's finishing off his Bosco career on a high note, win or lose.
And his first is good as he gets the roll. A chance to draw the Ironmen to within 5. Minute 24 left.
Richards got hit in the face there, so he's being attended to on the Patrick School bench. Now he'll come back to the lane. So now Don Bosco playing a little offense-defense with Marcellus Earlington. He'll go out with 4 fouls. You hate to have to do that now because you don't have the time always to get him back in. Bosco's still got 2 timeouts left. Now they only trail by 5. Great job by Paul. You know, crunch time, pressure free throws. He looked very calm at the stripe.
Jordan Walker brings it up, puts the brakes on, pulls it back outside. Begging all over him defensively. A minute 15 left, and a foul on Began.
You'll take it if you're Don Bosco. You know, listen, Walker's going to sell it. It was not the forearm shiver you would have thought Charlie Began delivered on him by Walker's reaction. But hey, when you're going for the hardware, you got to extend the game if you're Don Bosco. You got to keep this game alive.
Walker goes to the line. That's what they're playing for right there. The trophies you saw, the TOC.
Big one by Walker because this is still 1-1. Bosco only has 19 fouls. That would have been perfect for Don Bosco if Walker could have missed that one and given him the ball down by only 5. But it's back up to 6. Now trying to make it 3 possessions. And he will. Wow.
Jordan Walker, cool as a cucumber there at the line. He hits both. 62-55, a minute 10 remaining. Began twisting in, outside Earlington for 3, off the back rim, no. Harper fights for that rebound and gets it. Back to Earlington, another 3, off the rim, no. Chris Paul trying to save it, but he steps on the baseline.
The ball, I think, actually went out of bounds, Lou. Unlucky for Don Bosco as they were battling on the offensive glass. And listen, these are just some big cats in there. Bula Zhang, 6'10". Wei Coca, 7-foot senior. Both Zhang and Coca both going to Tulane.
Jameer Harris fouled in the backcourt. And that'll send him to the line 1-1. "53 seconds left on the clock."
Stepping to the line, Jameer Harris.
It has not been the electric show that maybe the Patrick School Nation was expecting, but you know what, Lou? There's no style points when it comes to the historical context of winning the TOC. It's all about just getting the brass ring.
Solo. Free throw was missed. Earlington to Harper. 40 seconds left. Harper flips to Earlington. He pops a three. Off the rim, no. Knocked out off of the Patrick School, so the Ironmen retain possession.
I had thought that was Don Bosco's 10th foul. Apparently, it was only their 9th, so they still have only 9. And with 35 seconds left now, we'll have a timeout.
Timeout called by Kevin DeVario, Don Bosco Prep. They trail by 7, 62 to 55. What a year it's been for them. 30-1 on the year. They come into this championship game winners of 21 straight games. As we said, their last and only loss of the year was in the middle of January to Bergen Catholic, 67-62.
There'll be a lot of great memories, Lou, for Don Bosco in this one. To take this season all the way into the back end of March and to have a chance. And listen, they'll get the runners-up trophy in all likelihood as they trail by 7 here with 35 seconds left. But when you think about the Bosco parents, you think about these players, it's always a journey when you get to a game like this. You win the Bergen Jamboree, and then you go to the postseason. The journey begins. You got to beat St. Joe's Montvale early in the process, and you beat Bergen Catholic. Can you believe that? They played Bergen Catholic in the non-Public A North Final, and they just kept it going, avenging the loss to St. Augustine's, getting into the TOC, beating Linden. Amazing when you think about Linden and what Linden represents. Linden, the only New Jersey team who's beaten the Patrick School this year. So there'll be no regrets. It'll be looked upon as it should be, as the greatest season in Don Bosco basketball history. But it appears on this night, Coach Chavanis and the Celtics will get back something they have coveted for a long time, as they've watched Roselle Catholic, St. Anthony's, and Trenton Catholic win this title. They will be TOC champs once again. And for Chris Lovasolo, his final seconds for the Ironman basketball program, great rise to prominence for him too. Played very little as a sophomore, a little more as a junior, took a nice pivotal role here as a senior, and so many great moments.
Well, the Ironmen bring it up, and it's stolen, taken by Jameer Harris, who gives it off to Walker, and he lays it in. And a timeout called by the Celtics, I believe, with 16.9 seconds remaining.
Hey, listen, just a chance to give his seniors a little curtain call. Dawes, the sophomore, but Chris Chavanis, you got to like it. He'll have some nice things to say. And you mentioned the seniors, McClary and Walker and Harris, Nick Richards. Nick Richards, who I mentioned, Lou, grew up in Kingston, Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, playing soccer and volleyball. Came to America, started his career at St. Mary's on Long Island. His rise to the top of the mountain, a McDonald's All-American. You think about the Celtics, who have been McDonald's All-Americans, the great Shaheen Holloway, Kyrie Irving, Al Harrington, Samuel Dallenberg, Mike Gilchrist. This school has a ring of honor of players like none other. Just amazing. Corey Fishers and Derek Character. And wow, and now those guys from that 09 team, Strickland and Gilchrist and Irving and Paris Bennett, they'll see that footnote go away as the last team from the Patrick School or St. Patrick's to win this title.
Charlie Bagan flips it up ahead, taken by the Celtics. Spinning in and floating it in, Jameer Harris. That's the exclamation point for the Celtics.
Jameer, what a guy. Starts every day at the Patrick School by doing the announcements. Lou, he's number 1 in the class at the Patrick School. And now his teammates and him are number 1 in the state of New Jersey.
And Marcus McClary steals and draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
Harper, number 24, is third.
So many great victories this year. They beat Archbishop Malloy, runner-up of the New York Catholic League. Yeah, they had to beat Roseville Catholic 4 times this year, Lou. Okay?
Can you imagine?
I mean, that's like, forget about it. And now they'll come out, the Super Seniors. They have delivered it to the Celtic Nation, champions once again. Chris Chavanis. You feel good for Chris. He's a St. Pat's lifer.
And a nice moment, too, for Bosco. The Bosco fans on their feet applauding their Ironmen. It has been just an unbelievably tremendous season for them as well.
Winning their first ever state title, really. I mean, they won it in 1970, but in the current format, they win their first title. Hey, let it be known, this group of Ironmen from Don Bosco Prep, they will go on in life. They'll meet up 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and know they played on the greatest Don Bosco basketball team ever. But on this night in Trenton, it's the McDonald's All-American and the Celtics, Lou.
The Patrick School wins the 2017 New Jersey State Championship. They defeat Don Bosco Prep 69-55. Their first TOC title since 2009. Their 6th in their brilliant history.
Lou, they managed the victory. They prevented Don Bosco from going on any great scoring runs. You know, they held them under 60 points. They made some jumpers in the first half. They played defense when they had to. Nick Richards got it going a little bit in the second half, you know, and they just managed their way to this victory. It was closer than the final score will show you. I mean, the final score is 14 points. Remember, with 3 minutes left, it was a 5-point game. But for Coach Chavanis, took over for Kevin Boyle. With all the changes that go on at the Patrick School in the last 20 years, one thing has been the same. Mr. Chavanis roaming the hallways, and now he is the coach that's led them to their 6th TOC title. Great night for the Elizabeth School. And Big Nick Richards in his final game. From here, Lexington, Kentucky, Lou, to go play for the Wildcats. Not a bad deal.
So the number 1 Celtics cap off their season at 29-4. They capture the New Jersey State Championship. Don Bosco Prep, just their 2nd loss of the year. They finish a brilliant campaign at 30-2. That'll do it here from the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton. Once again, your final score, the Patrick School 69, Don Bosco Prep 55. The Celtics from the Patrick School are the 2017 New Jersey Boys Basketball State Champions.